Okay, today's topic is insecurities.
Yes.
Why'd you have to fumble the paper? Because you could hear everything.
Because I was
Okay.
fucking OCD. I had to
All
move the
right.
paper around.
Okay. All right.
All right, so down.
Yes.
So today we had a situation
Yes, we did.
in which we went to grab a couple of beers at one of our little spots, just so you all know.
Right.
And we like to go there and have some beers,
Yeah.
whether it's me and my hun bun or me and the big Alster, which is
Yep.
our child.
Yes.
So you kind of get to know bartenders, right?
Right. Prometheus. Looking at my wife like a snack.
Now, I'm gonna be
You know what
honest.
I'm saying? So
I probably shouldn't say this on air because that's kind of like defamation. But I think if I be bi, that's just me. But
Okay,
what do I know?
okay.
Okay.
But
It
not
doesn't
how
matter
he
because
was
I'm not
looking at you,
interested.
'cause
But I wasn't
he wanted
interested.
to eat it up, beat it up, and then, put it in the seat.
See, that's just how you see it because
You know what I'm saying?
you that
Like,
dude. You know.
But what I'm saying
I'm
is
just
like
saying he just
was
turned
real
around grinning
familiar.
he was grinning at me like a gay dude. Like that's
But
my
no,
best
he was
friend.
real familiar.
But my husband
He
said
was
something
like,
different.
Hey, baby.
He didn't say that,
So
and he wasn't
let me
looking
give you
like
a
that.
hug, and when you're done with this motherfucker, come back to my house because I'm the lick-em-low lover.
Let's be very clear.
Prometheus. What
That's
was his
not-
name?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you his name one more motherfucking
Okay.
time. You're gonna stop calling him everything, but he's my independent undercover lover. Independent undercover lover.
So
okay.
back on the topic of insecurities.
Insecurities.
Now we all deal with insecurities, especially in relationships. I've been married to my wife a little over 6 years, and
Couple of months.
yeah, and a couple months, right.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that I still deal with insecurities. And when I first met my wife, I had a lot of insecurities, but that was my past relationship
Hey, baby,
that
wait
kind
for
of
a
dictated.
second.
Go ahead.
Do you know we didn't introduce who I am? I'm Elena, and this is my husband Dominic. Dom. That's what y'all gonna hear me call him. Okay. My name is Elena.
Okay, but you kind of.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're going ahead with your little point, but I was just saying, didn't nobody know who I was.
But
We
previously, before I was with
Ooh.
Elena,
Yes.
yeah, I was in a very okay. All right, there you. Oh, okay, we heard all that, didn't we? Didn't we?
Did y'all hear that?
Did we, folks?
That's a
Did we,
can
folks?
of beera.
My bad. So,
Okay.
yeah, just being in a relationship prior to being married to my wife, I developed a lot of insecurities because the lady that I was with at the time, she kind of pulled those motherfucking strings.
She did a
was the
number on
puppet
him.
master. So I from everything, from why you smiling at the motherfucker? How come that motherfucker know your name? I just
Who is that
dealt
bitch?
with a lot of insecurities that just kind of transferred over, and I had to make a decision that the woman that I'm married to,
It's not that woman.
right, and I love her enough to change this part of me that I didn't like, because I never really liked it, because I always had to put things in perspective as far as why the fuck am I reacting this way? Because I'm about to lose a good woman. What, are you a good woman?
Oh, I think I'm a motherfucker.
I mean, you're right.
And just so we say this, let me tell you all about Dom. Dominic, what I appreciate, one of the many things that I appreciate about Broham is that he is not, he about to pop up, y'all hear that? That was a beer can. One of the many things I appreciate is that when we had problems, and whether he thought it was his or not, he decided, he knew it was his, because we all have our own stuff. When he knew it was his, he made a decision. I want my wife, I want this marriage to work out, so I'm going to do what I can to change it. When that brother said, I'm changing this because I don't need this shit in my life, he changed it. I don't know people who do that. I'm hard-headed. It took me a minute. However, he was one of the only men in my life that made me decide that habits that I developed in other relationships that are not healthy in this relationship made me decide to do something different. And I appreciate that. But he made me be a better person because of his decision and his way of saying, you know what? I know this is not good for us. I'm going to fix this. And he did. And he does. Every single time.
Well,
even when he
appreciate that.
even when he felt like, I feel like I'm the only one fixing shit. It's not that. It's just that sometimes when you have been there and done that, you already fixed your shit.
Right.
So I may not have as much to fix because I'm older. So I had a whole lot more time to fix my shit. He's 36.
Yeah.
I'm 50. And so when he makes those decisions, it's a quicker decision. For me, my shit went over time. But I had some bad habits, when I first got married, like, I don't need to tell him everything. I'm a grown-ass woman. It's what I do. It had nothing to do with sneaking around or anything, but it looks at sneaking around when somebody find out something you didn't tell them.
Right. But, also, me being damaged and coming into a relationship didn't help.
Right.
I mean, I always had to have a small violin near, so a motherfucker just play that motherfucking violin for me because.
That's not a real violin sound. I'm not quite sure
that
what that is.
That motherfucking pity party that I had to get over
right.
eventually because I just didn't see it until it was brought to my attention. See, before, a motherfucker can, sway me with, you the man of the house. You like the savior, you can lead us in this pack and blah, blah, fucking blah. But you pretty much kept it real and said, hey, you need to change this because this is not going to work in our relationship.
Right.
Which made it easier for me to recognize or put things in a better light, right, a better perspective for me to go ahead and say, you know what, yeah, I want to change. But that's the type of woman that you are. Because every woman's not the same, every man's not the same.
Right.
So the fact that you wanted to continue being with me, and that I seen that you truly loved me and cared for me, that you would give me that advice. Because if you wanted to keep it moving, you could have just kept it moving. That was a skateboard in the background because it just picked up that shit. That's the sensitivity of this mic.
Right. We picked up everything.
So, but. Yeah, Insecurities is the most motherfucker.
Yes, they are.
So, if you experiencing it, if you need advice on it, me and my wife been going strong over 6 years, and we still deal with them to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, there's always some new trials and tribulations, and marriage is work. A relationship is work.
As whether with your friend.
Right.
Whether it's with your man, whether with your woman, whether with your parent, relationships they work.
Yeah.
You have to always, outside of obviously the relationships that's not man and woman or man and man, woman, whatever that is, relationships that are intimate, let's say that.
Right.
They're always going to cause work, and you always have to talk. But I'm telling you now, communication
is key.
Yes, it is. You have to talk to your mate, and sometimes it ain't gonna always be nice.
No.
It ain't. You can't and always won't sugarcoat it.
Right.
But you have to be able to be as raw with your mate about how you feel, because I have always been a proponent that people get to feel how they want to feel. You don't have to agree.
Right.
You never have to agree. What you do have to do is respect how someone feels.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, that's just dumb. I don't want to say, hey. You got to back up off that.
Yeah.
If they tell you that's how they feel, your job is to say, you know what, baby, listen, I understand. It was never my intention to make you feel this way. Or no, that's not what it is. And you have to allow people to soak that in and go with that.
Yeah.
Because Dominic and I, we have had to have some ugly conversations.
Yes.
But I think the best thing about us is being honest.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear what he got to say. He don't always want to hear what I got to say.
Right.
But
it makes you appreciate your mate even more.
Absolutely.
It makes you appreciate a person even more.
That's right.
When shit come out raw, and it's gonna sting.
Yes.
But
it will.
You ultimately look and you weigh that shit out. You be like, you know what? Okay. So they put everything on the table. They told me everything that they needed to say, and am I gonna make this decision or that decision? And you pretty much putting everything on the scale. You got to be able to change at some point in your life. A lot of people,
change.
right? Because a lot of people are stuck in their ways.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, yes, sir.
Did
I
you
said,
say
yeah, I
yes,
did. I
ma'am?
said, I'm sorry.
So I'm a
I'm
man
sorry.
now.
My bad, dog.
That's fucked
My
up.
bad.
But you kind of look at your relationships, whether it's friendship or in a marriage or a girlfriend or a
Intimate,
boyfriend.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You kind of look at it as a career, because if you want to advance,
That's
then
right.
you got to
That's a good
prove
way to say
yourself.
it, baby.
You definitely got to prove yourself. You definitely got to step outside of your comfort zone. You
right.
definitely got to do things that you weren't willing to do in the past, because you realize that a lot of relationships are stagnant because no one's willing to change.
That's right.
No one's willing to compromise. No one's willing to communicate. Because if I say, well, this is how it is with me, then now I set that wall. I set that boundary.
That's right. And the next person decides.
You can never cross it.
That's right. And so what happens is the next person decides, well, I ain't saying shit. Because that's where the fuck he at. Or that's where the fuck she at. So the difference in us is that we decide, okay, you know what? That shit hurt my feelings. I'll be honest, that shit hurt my feelings.
Right.
But okay. And we sit there and look stupid for a minute. Sometimes we sit there and you get a little stubborn and be like, fuck it, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm going to just keep looking at TV. Okay, that motherfucker sitting next to me, I ain't got nothing to say. However, at some point, you got to start talking.
Yeah.
So that's when you tell them, listen, you know what? That hurt my feelings. I get where you was going with that, but that hurt my feelings. But I understand why you said that.
Yeah.
And that's when the dialogue becomes even more real, because you get to say how you felt. You get to say, well, that hurt my feelings.
Right.
I know that wasn't your intentions.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
And I think the thing is, if you don't have that communication, you create that stalemate. You create that somebody's always going to be bitter about some shit, or there's going to be a grudge held at some point, and never really getting over a situation, because you can have an argument, but if you don't communicate what happened in that argument and come to some type of resolution, you're going to still hold that at some point. Because I used to do that. I used to do that like, man, you know, you told me that y'all never dated, but y'all dated. What was all that about? Now I'm in my motherfucking feelings. But communication is key. I mean, I definitely say that. I mean, without us having that in our relationship, I don't think we would have lasted. But that's what gets us through the good and the bad times, because it ain't just good times.
True.
There's bad times,
Hell
but
yeah.
we've come to an understanding that our bad times are easily settled by communication.
That's right.
And if we get at a point where we're stubborn, I'm like, I ain't talking to her. It don't work like that.
It does not.
Because when you know communication is the key to fixing, you know, whatever the situation is, then 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes will pass, and you be like, you know what, I want to talk about this, but I'm going to calm down,
Right.
and we can get back to it, and we can have a conversation, because I don't like to be here with you. I don't like to be in this situation with you.
Right.
So.
And like sometimes you can steal your partner's voice.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, I am never stealing your heavy-ass voice.
Heavy-ass voice.
I think the difference, I think one of the things that we do is that we don't steal each other's voice. And what I mean by that is, we're having a discussion, right? And somebody bring up a point. Well, you know, I'm so tired of, I'm always having to pay the bills, and you get to do what you want to with your money, and you do blah, blah, blah. This is just an example. And the funny thing is, that's not ever our example, because we are very cognizant of what each other do with money.
Right.
Because we're always a team. However, what I mean by that is, so you have that couple that they both have their own checking account, right? Checking or savings. And one person decides to do more with their money than the other. And if I tell you, hey baby, listen, you know, you tend to go outside of what we can do financially.
Right.
And you like, well,
conducive to our means.
it's not
you live
conducive.
beyond your
you
means.
living beyond our means. We can't afford that, and then I have to always pick up the slack. So anything that I want to do for myself, I can't, because I'm always picking up the slack by what you doing. Now, when I say steal that voice, is when you have that other person like, well, I told you I like to do what I want, and one of us got to always have a positive blah, 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 blah. Okay? When people are barking at you and not allowing you to express yourself, it steals your voice.
Right.
So what does most of us do? And it's more. And I have to say this: women tend to be the ones that back off. We are the ones that we can get loud. There's a lot of loud women. However, there are a lot of I believe, it doesn't make it true, but I believe that women are generally the ones that when we come across our mate, that when we try to tell them what's going on, they bring a problem to us. We try to tell them what's going on, but they get louder and louder and louder. What do? We shut down. I'm just not gonna say anything. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Right.
So what happens is that situation is never resolved. It's shoved under the rug.
Right.
So then y'all go along your day, and it's always her. And again, this is me going by women. It's always her. It's always the women who decides, okay, let's get past that. 2 or 3 days later, some other shit come up, and he barking at her. No, feel. I think. Wow, 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 bark, 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 bark. She back up off of it again. She don't express herself because she's not being heard.
Right.
So when you're not being heard, what do? You just shut the fuck up. Because what's the point of keep talking to people when you're not being heard?
Yeah.
Which means they're not respecting how you feel. Now, that don't mean they don't love you. It's just mean that their opinion costs more than yours.
You know, to even stay on topic, that's what creates a lot of insecurities as well.
That's true.
I mean, yeah, if I'm steady putting you in the corner,
putting baby in the corner,
right? Putting baby in the corner, you have no response whatsoever, because if I'm loud enough, if I'm aggressive enough, if I'm able to shut you down enough,
that's right.
You know, you look at, you know, I pay attention, especially when me and my wife go out. You know, a lot of times we get approached and be like, man, you guys are talking, couple, y'all laughing. Mm-hmm. You know, y'all my favorite couple, blah, blah, blah. But then you realize a lot of insecure couples that are in the room, because if you're all in your phone,
oh my God,
and you all are not paying attention to each other.
Every time somebody of the opposite walk past.
I've never understood that if I'm going out with you, and you are mine, if I had a girlfriend, if I wasn't married, you are my girlfriend for the night, I'm paying attention to you.
Not anyone else.
Not in my phone.
Not the chicks or the dudes that's walking past.
And I feel like there's some insecurities behind all that, because, you know, we all always, you know, in relationships, at some point we all gotta one up each other.
Oh man.
You know, and if you don't,
I was notorious for that.
Yeah. If you're not able to recognize that, if you're not able to dismantle that, you can't build in your relationship. Again, I've come from so many fucking insecurities that just didn't make any sense of all the fucking insecurities I had. But then I was also damaged, you know, a fucked up childhood, and then a fucked up relationship, and then going into marriage, because I didn't have a whole lot of partners. So I didn't get to experience life, as some people say, oh, you didn't experience life, blah, blah, blah. But I felt like I experienced life, because I feel like no one would want to experience the life that I lived, or have been privy to, which wasn't a nice life all the time. But me being with my wife now and putting things in perspective and understanding, you know, what insecurities are detrimental to my relationship, because we still deal with insecurities, whether it's about our weight, whether it's about, how much we eat, whether it's about how much we drink. Yep. You know, you got those judgmental people out there. So, you know, there's so many insecurities that we deal with, and we try to create a balance. We try to say that, you know, this is okay, but you always got somebody saying it's not.
That's right.
Or you always got somebody that's tearing you down. Mm-hmm. And all you can do is do the best that you can. But as far as relationships go, if you're not able to recognize, if you're not able to rectify or stabilize, you know, yourself in a center or your core, and say, hey, you know what? I don't like the way I am. I don't like how I react to the situation. I don't like the fact that I blow up because my wife's saying, I'm going out with my girlfriends. Oh, so you're going to talk to another guy? Right. That ain't nothing but insecurities. Yes, there ain't nothing that you faced in the past that you can't put off on someone else. Mm-hmm. You got to go ahead and allow your faith, your
Whatever
trust,
that is,
whatever that
you.
is that keeps you going to allow you to be okay, to be settled. Because ultimately, people are gonna do what the fuck they want to do.
Woo-hoo, praise Jesus, that's what they do.
But
We're
if
human.
if you're in a relationship and you keep your mate happy, I promise you never have to worry about that shit.
We really don't. And here's the thing, if you keep yourself happy, and I don't mean in a selfish way, I mean if you happy with who you are. I'm not one of those people that suffer insecurities because I knew who I am. I've always been very clear. However, it don't mean that I haven't had insecurities. My point is that I think when you know who you are, like I know I know that when I go out, if I got a mate, people gonna know about my mate. They ain't gotta sit there. They ain't never gotta be seen. But people are going to know about my mate, whether I was married or had a boyfriend. That's who I am. But I'm not gonna change who I am based off of my mate.
Right.
Meaning, I'm not gonna not be friendly and talk to people. I don't need to be the angry black bitch at the goddamn bar so I could cut everybody off to prove a point to my mate.
Right.
I'm not going to do that.
But you know what you realize? You realize that when you do have somebody good, and when you are able to appreciate, and not saying that you're never gonna have, you're not ever not gonna have a fight.
Absolutely. Oh my
You're
goodness,
not,
absolutely.
not ever gonna have an argument.
Right.
It just is what it is.
That's right.
But
it's life.
the nice thing is when you are out and you are kicking it, and a motherfucker might say, "Wow, goddamn, you fine," you know, okay, you being that woman or whatever. We're like, "Damn, you fine as hell." We're like, you know what? My baby tell me that all the time because now you can relate. You're relative to the conversation. You know what? My baby tell me that all the time,
and you ain't gotta be nasty about it.
Right.
When men tell me, "Ooh, your husband," look, I be like, "You really have no idea who I am, but thank you so much." Or if somebody were to tell me, "You are fine as hell," I'd be like, "Thank you very much." My husband tells me that quite often. It doesn't require me to be like, "Nigga, get out my face." I don't know you like that. It doesn't for me. Now I've had men who want me to be like that, who want me to be nasty towards other men. It does not require, in my opinion.
Because I think it's overkill.
It is an overkill.
Because when you put shit in its place, it's just in its place.
It's in its place.
So whether a motherfucker ain't gonna respect it, that's when you do something different.
Right.
You know, if you go ahead and say, "Oh no, you know what? My baby or my man or my girl ain't gonna appreciate that if I have another friend." So, you know, because that's how motherfuckers play the game.
Right.
You know, and it's not saying everybody, but majority of people.
There are people out there that
that's just what they do, you know. And you know, it's a way to speak to people.
My brother told me, my youngest brother Freddie told me, he said, "You know what I've always appreciated? I'm not going to say my nickname. You all will learn that eventually." But, did you just say my name?
I didn't say it. I
didn't say it. Punch you in the face.
I know.
You know what? I'm going to say it now, because you all going to hear it at some point through this podcast or my next podcast. It's Dino. It's a stupid-ass nickname. I'll tell you the story. Dino. From Flintstones. Okay. Let's get past that. My brother used to tell me, my youngest brother, who is 3 years older than me. I have two brothers. One passed away 2 years ago. But my youngest brother used to always tell me, "You know what I respect about you is that you know how to let brothers down." And I said, "What do you mean by that?" He said, you sit at a bar, someone says something to you, you're not interested because you have someone, you smile, and you tell them, "Thank you so much, but I have a man." He said, "I've always respected that about you because not most women do that. Either they gonna talk to the dude or they nasty. I don't find it necessary to be nasty to someone unless you make me that way. I find if I'm out at the bar, first of all, I think I'm an attractive gal. So if you
fine as hell.
Thank you, honey bunny. So I feel like if I'm sitting at a bar, that's your job, if you find me attractive, that is, to come up to me.
Right.
I'm not offended by that.
Right.
How can I be offended? We are out in a public space by which people go to meet other people. You all right over there, Sugar? Mm-hmm. All right. Thumbs up. So when you're out in that type of atmosphere, which I never understood this about women, why are you so nasty to people in this public space by
Right.
which you chose to be out in
Yep.
to be nasty about. And a lot of women are nasty and they have nothing to do with having a man. So my point is that I don't find it necessary because I have a husband to be nasty. I didn't do it then when I had a boyfriend. Didn't do it when I was single. I don't have a problem with telling, and most men generally respect it. If I tell them, oh, you know what, thank you so much for that compliment, but you know, my husband, I have a husband or I have a boyfriend, most men respect that. Now, if it gets to the point they don't respect, I promise you, I know how to get rid of it, because my brother also complimented me on that one too. We won't go into what I would say.
Right.
But trust and believe,
but
you don't have to worry about me not getting rid of someone.
You know what I also took from, having a mate that goes out and motherfuckers that are attracted, to your mate or whatever. You have to put things in perspective in the sense that if a motherfucker trying to holler at her, that's okay because she going home with you.
That's right. Chicken
Dinner. And the thing is, because again, I had to learn this. Why get so upset that a motherfucker trying to holler at your girl? Because if she was ugly as fuck and she wasn't getting hollered at all, now that shit is questionable. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
try to talk to that booger bear.
Wait a minute.
Right.
You mean to tell me that motherfucker never say anything to you?
Exactly. But
that's somebody for everybody. So, but
right.
But putting that thing in perspective, like I used to get frustrated or insecure that we be out, and because I'm 14 years younger than my wife, and the older motherfucker
and people
and he looking at her, you know what I'm saying? He want to gobble her up like she motherfucking Thanksgiving dinner and shit. And here go me, cause I'm young, and I'm like, man, you know what? I'm feeling some type of way about this shit. But my wife put things in perspective. So would you rather me be what was that you used as far as being ugly? You just was like,
the fuck is that?
A bugaboo?
A bugaboo.
A
bugaboo.
Yeah, a bugaboo.
Don't nobody want to hate a bugaboo.
The fact that motherfuckers was able to see my wife like, man, she fine as fuck. Because I know a lot of times they're probably like, man, he don't know what to do with that. I know everything.
And just so you know, we are an interracial couple.
We're interracial couple.
He don't.
But I know what the fuck to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why
I'm
it's
happy.
been
So
over 6 years in.
Do.
You know what I'm saying? So some going right. But yeah, just I'm glad that we talked about this topic. As far as insecurities, and if anybody has any questions, you can leave your comments below.
I have one other point.
Go ahead. Oh.
That we are. Not only are we an interracial couple,
right,
but we are what is it called, a summer and fall type of couple. I'm 50. People don't know that I'm 50 because people don't see me as being 50. People think we're the same age.
Right.
I know I'm 50. And so he goes to work and you got all these women in his face, right? When I tell you all that the broads are thirsty.
Very white.
At his job.
Green eyes.
They don't give a damn about him steady telling them, oh yeah, my wife. And I got a wife. And I got a wife. They don't care.
Now, do you think that created some insecurities for you?
No. Those, I'm not worried about them.
just staying on topic though.
Not insecurities. It just makes me mad.
Right.
It makes me mad because I know how to check motherfuckers and they respect it.
Right.
It annoys me that they don't respect it.
Right.
That no matter what you tell them, or other women have told them, listen, y'all know he's married, right? I met his wife, she's pretty, blah, blah. They don't care. It's just disrespectful that they insist on keep going. That bothers me. Now, I don't think that my husband is going anywhere. That's not an issue for me. But it does annoy me nonetheless. It annoys me nonetheless. I can't do anything about that because people gonna do what they want to do anyway. Just like if I'm walking down the street, but it's a bit different because walking down the street, that somebody be like, man, your husband is a lucky man. You don't even know me. You just going by the fact that I'm pretty, but I can move that around.
Right, but you know what? That does create insecurities, whether we all like it or not. Just to stay on topic,
right.
That it does create some type of.
It does make you want to go check a bitch or bitches.
It's like, wait a minute, I know I'm that most motherfucker. Well, I'm that greater motherfucker, but and I think that's where it calls communication is key, and I feel like a lot of men, like in my situation, wouldn't reveal that, man.
Oh no,
motherfuckers flirting with me at the job and shit, because they like that shit, because they feel like they missing something. But I've gotten beyond my insecurities in a sense that, because I still, again, and I put it out there, insecurities will never go away, because you're gonna have them about anything.
You can.
Whether you see a roll on your stomach, whether you've done ate something, you like, I ain't got no business, I should have ate that.
Yep.
Or you weren't productive at work, you got some motherfucking insecurity somewhere. Or the type of conversation you had with your kids, if you felt like that you fucking raised your voice too much, or you done checked checked your mate in a certain way, you done did something out of the ordinary, that we done developed some type of insecurities. So again, if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, hey, it is what it is. You can go ahead and comment below.
If there's something you want us to talk about, let us know.
Trust
me,
because we got a lot of shit. We got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot of shit.
So us just starting this our very first podcast, and we wanted to give it a try. We had a good motherfucking day, and we just wanted to be able to kind of share, what we experienced, because I had my own insecurities day about a bartender. But that's
what sparked the whole insecurity conversation.
That's what sparked the topic in the first place. But we got past it because I knew we would.
Yes, because we always do.
With that communication. So,
and just so you know, if you heard a little bell tingling in the background, that is Princess Madudu. She is 7 years old. She's a blue Russian, and she likes to fight me. She doesn't fight anyone else, but she likes to fight me.
She look angry.
So she's like staring at me, whipping her tail back and forth, ready to attack the chair or me. I'm not quite sure. So
again, y'all comment below.
This is Elena. This is Dom or Dominic or Dean.
Hold on a second.
What's our show?
What was calling this though? Vino by the window.
Vino by the window, because we do
couples
like to drink
talking
wine.
About real shit.
While they
talking
drinking
about
wine.
Real topics, and just so y'all know, that ain't nothing
off
beyond
limits.
Ain't nothing off limits. Ain't nothing beyond the realm of possibility to talk about, because there's so much information to share, and the fact that I feel like me and my wife are a couple that we disclose everything, and even the uncomfortable shit.
Y'all haven't heard half the stuff.
Right. So tune in.
Tune in.
We love y'all.
We love you.
Wait, don't motherfuckers always say that? Like on what's that?
I want to hear long time listener, first time caller. That's what I want to hear.
Right.
Long time listener, first time caller.
So Vino by the window.
Vino by the window.
We are about to here. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
And we gonna holler at you.
Peace.